United Kacche.
नौकरी शोकरी मिली? मिलिया कोई काम?
हाँ बेटे, बस घर पे धोखे देने का काम कर रहा हूँ।
हैं? तू किसको धोखे देने का काम कर रहा है?
और बर्तन धोखे देने का काम कर रहा हूँ।
Okay, so Sunil, it's so wonderful to have you back on Filme Shilmy, and that too for another ZEE5 global content. So thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me again. Thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure. Well, look, I think when it comes to United Kacche, your character, even though there is that comedic aspect, but it's still quite an intense role, as illegal immigration is a very thorny subject here and still very rampant as well. So how did you manage to sort of strike that perfect balance of amalgamating both comedy and seriousness in acting?
So this is a script writer's job. So whatever they write, we do it as an actor. But yes, it's an easy watch, but the topic is actually very serious. So that's what I loved about the show, that the topic is serious, but the situations are funny. So, and actually, if you look at it, all the situations are bad, sad, whoever, in whatever situation they are. And, but the take is funny. So, and humor, something which I love doing. And so this show had both the things, as you said rightly, it's a right kind of amalgamation, balance of both the things. And I enjoy doing it.
Right. And I think when it comes to illegal immigration, and I think subjects about the sort of dream of living abroad, I feel Hindi cinema in particular, or Indian cinema generally, has really been addressing this subject heads on. I mean, recently we had a Punjabi film called Chal Jindiye with Neeru Bajwa. Then of course we had Rani Mukherjee's Mrs. Chatterjee versus Norway. So we're seeing films which really debunk that NRI dream, that dream of living abroad, of Indians living abroad. Why do you think suddenly now we're seeing a rise in such stories? And do you think that's also coming from a place because India is at a stage where we are doing very well as a country? Do you think it's also that satisfaction and realizing कि जो भी कुछ करना है हमें ही करना है और हमें succeed होना है?
पहले भी बन रही थी चीजें ऐसी, और only I feel the mediums have increased. So of course, since there's social media also, and but yes, there are projects now, and there were projects earlier also about this. So I feel, but with time, their takes are different. Now, this particular show that we talk about is a sitcom, and also the approach, because of the world is becoming smaller, and it's way more easy to go abroad for people now, and to take a flight and go, comparatively I'm saying. So, and because of internet, because of all these social media and various things, people are aware. The awareness is certainly increased. So so now it's no more a topic which people don't understand. So they understand it very well, even if they are not abroad, they're living abroad, or there's somebody or the other have relatives. And even if you don't have relatives or friends abroad, you understand the situation, so you can relate. So I guess because of various factors, this is relatable to people way more than earlier.
Right. And I think when it comes to this role in particular, did you have to maybe meet or read up on stories or instances of when people have illegally migrated to London and the UK?
No, I didn't meet anyone.
I know.
But yes, I didn't need to. Also, the show is very light-hearted show, and script writers have done their bit of research, and I also know the situation there, and this is a easy watch kind of a show. So, but there are layers, undertones, but I need not think about it much and just perform, do my bit, as take it simply, because this character is very simple compared to not very complicated character. But the humorous part, situations are complicated. So the things that he deals with are not easy.
Right.
So, and they're funny also, the situations. So I guess just went with the flow and just heard what director said in this case, and enjoyed the humor on set and in the script.
Right. Now, Sunil, I look back at your career and I was thinking about this very deeply. I mean, we all have laughed so much, at your characters, whether it is a Rinku Bhabi, whether it is Gutti. My God, even mentioning these characters just takes me back in time. I mean, even though it wasn't that long ago. But, you know, do you ever feel that, when an actor does comedy, there is always that difficulty in them sort of trying to rise above that? Because I mean, of course, comedy is a very integral part of acting as well, but that conditioning that society tends to have and the industry tends to have, do you feel like you've kind of unfortunately fallen a bit prey to that ever?
I think I'm very lucky. I'm very fortunate to experience various things. I did a couple of projects which were, I did comedy for a long time, and I enjoyed doing that. And I was lucky that I was accepted in those parts, where little over the top and kind of sometimes caricaturish also, which I loved performing and doing. But why I'm saying I'm lucky is I'm also getting to experience a different medium, fiction medium, where I am being offered various kind of characters with various moves, like this show, even Sunflower, which I did, and a couple of other shows I did in the past in Tango. So people accepted me, and I feel very, very lucky. And
Mhm.
credit goes to also the people who have offered me these roles, because to think and to believe that this guy can do it, because I'm just investing my time and energy, but there are also huge monies are also involved in it, whatever you do. So
Mhm.
it's their belief, trust, and I'm happy that it worked. And also, I have utmost respect for people who do humor, do comedy. It is not an easy thing, and if you say that I'm categorized as a funny man, a comedian, I'll be very, very happy, because it's the most difficult job in entertainment, and people who do it um, are respect worthy. Um, so, and I feel I'm very, very limited in humor. Personally, I feel that, but I've been lucky again that I could make people laugh, and I still attempt to, and I will keep attempting to make people laugh, and it makes me very, very happy.
Right. Well, nicely said there. But I think when we talk about acting, I often mention about vulnerability and how an actor sort of has to be open to, receiving and expressing emotions of various range. But I think when it does come to humor, do you also feel like you have to sometimes tap into a very, maybe, I mean, a juxtaposition really, but a sad incident in your life or a very vulnerable space in you, even in a comedy role as well?
Yeah, comedy is. I feel that vulnerability in comedy is extremely important. It is because, and as you become seasoned, so called seasoned, or experienced, for the lack of better word, maybe, you know,
Mhm.
um, you feel that you know the art, and that's when you have lost it. And
Right.
I think the vulnerability, especially in comedy or any other art form, performing art, especially acting, uh, it is, for me, it is extremely important, and one should be vulnerable. Uh, uh, Otherwise, it comes in your personality that you know it, and there's nothing about knowing the art. It's like playing a character, and if the character, you have to empathize the character with the character, and not um, um, knowing it completely.
Hmm.
Because
Right.
sometimes characters also don't know themselves completely.
Right. And how do you deal with that when characters don't know themselves? Because I think, जब लाइफ में कुछ भी, I mean, लाइफ तो अनप्रिडिक्टेबल है ही, हम महाज्ञानी तो है नहीं और जो भी कुछ है वो एक मिस्ट्री है, बट आई थिंक जब आप स्क्रीन पे वो एक इंसिडेंट आता है कि even the characters don't know themselves, then what do you do?
It's a beautiful thing. His character doesn't know himself. So most of the times we don't know about ourselves. It's a character, it's in a situation, a person. So that's when you have to know that you don't know. And you have to play that part. That's an emotion actually, or nature of the character, or a situation of the character. Depends on what it is. So whatever it is, you have to play it with that mindset. That's what I'm saying. You have to empathize, and automatically things start happening.
Mhm. And do you think with the
Whenever I have gone overconfident about knowing a character, that's when I personally feel I've lost it, and then you have to come back to um, with with uh, with the thoughts of the characters.
Mhm. I mean, what helps you then at that point as well, actually? Because I think it's a really, really well thing that you said well there. But how do you deal with that actually at that point? जब आप हद से ज़्यादा गुजर जाते हो, not to sound very filmy, when in terms of a character, but to bring you back to roots. What helps you at that point in life?
No, I mean it's a character, and you can go deeper. आप और जितना मर्जी गहरे चले जाओ फिर once it's over you come back, you have to, and you can't live there, you can't become that character. Of course character leaves sometimes if it's a well written character, which is not very often that happens, but if it is a very well written character, it leaves something with you and stays with you because you have believed in it, and that somewhere becomes part of you in your personality in a very positive way. I'm saying. Like I
Right.
have done some characters, they have left an impact. Like I did one character in Pataka with Vishal Bhardwaj, and
Yes.
so this naughty guy, uh, so he left something deeper, so that naughtiness somewhere.
And do you feel कि जब आप एक किरदार निभाते हो, चाहे वो कॉमेडी हो या सीरियस, क्या वो एक छाप रह जाता है आपके एक्चुअल पर्सनालिटी के ऊपर?
नहीं, वो नया आता है, वो नया चला जाता है, और किरदार निभाते हुए मैं वो किरदार में होता हूँ। बल्कि मैं आपको बताता हूँ कि जैसे मैं कभी कभी अपने को फिल्मों में, टीवी में या स्क्रीन पे देखता हूँ, तो मुझे लगता है कि ये मैं हूं ही नहीं, और ये कोई और ही है, और ऐसा बहुत लोगों को लगता है, और और मुझे वो अच्छा लगता है। तो वो कैरेक्टर से बाहर आ जाते हैं। हाँ, जब आप काम कर रहे हो, उस माइंडसेट में हो या घुस रहे हो उसके अंदर, या तो उस वक्त होता है, बट अदरवाइज उससे बाहर आ जाते हैं और इतना कोई उसमें मुश्किल नहीं होती।
जी, जी। एंड आई थिंक जब आपने यूनाइटेड कच्छे में काम किया था, तो लंदन में आपने आई थिंक काम तो किया है। आई थिंक you've been to London before, you've been to the UK before. But I think for this experience, especially, what would you say was the most distinct from everything else you've done in terms of the whole shooting process and the character and all of that? How would you say that that's differed from maybe how you've experienced it before?
So it was very organized, disciplined, and we would start on time, we'll finish on time, uh, and the weather is so unpredictable. We could not decide on things like it's a sunny day. Okay, let's shoot outside. We have the permission. Let's shoot outside. And the moment they say action, so the clouds hear them first, even before the actors and director say, they start reacting to action, and so you don't know the weather, and what I love the most, after my shoot I would go for a walk every day for about half an hour, 1 hour, depends on the day, but that is something which is very, very special every day. And with every day, I would kept increasing my warm clothes. So one layering, today cap added, next day muffler added, one more jacket added. Now today I want to wear the weather was, I enjoyed that walk every day.
Right.
And
That's
the
wonderful.
slow growth in winters.
Yeah, I mean we're complaining about the winters. I think it's completely overlapping. Our summer is basically non-existent right now. So, I can totally understand when you come from India, because I know there's a heat wave going on at the moment, so I can totally understand that. But Sunil, I think when you look back at your career and the way you began, I mean, you've worked with some incredible talents over the years, and you began as well. I think even even on television as well, right? You had a few stints as well very early on. But I think from if you look back at that Sunil then and you kind of look now, what would you say has been the key takeaways for you?
With time, of course, I think the only thing which I lack, you've gained few things, but I lack is the, sometimes I feel that the innocence which I want to get back to, I try hard. And also the approach was little, I had more vulnerability. And I think the wonder in the eyes, sometimes you say, oh, I know it. And that's when, um, so you take up those characters that I know it kind of characters, but then so those innocence, but those days are very, very important and special to me, because whenever I'm playing an innocent character, I just remind myself of those days, and I get into the characters easily.
Right, absolutely. And I think your character as well in this is kind of for me, it kind of seems as if it's one of those roles that is someone who learns, right? Who is someone who goes with this dream and this ambition, and they slowly, they kind of lose that innocence. And that's something which I find very fascinating, Sunil. It's like even Gangubai, if we think about it, that whole crux of her character is about how she loses that innocence, along the way because she's hardened by circumstances as well. So is that something which you also find fascinating as an actor to explore, especially in your character here? Even though there is a comedic aspect, as I said before.
Yeah, the comedy sometimes, when you're doing a comedy show or series, what happens that it takes over so many things, and you have to make the scene in a way that you are able to generate a smile or entertainment in every scene, or a laughter sometimes. So you actually lose your character here and there. Depends on the kind of comedy it is, but I won't say lose the character, but that's how you conceive the character. Is that what is more important to the character's mindset or the situation or the scene? So this show, the characterization and um, the the story, the situation, the seriousness is everything lies in the script, but we have to make the scene funny, and everything comes across.
Right. Right. Now, I think on a final note, I mean, Sunil, I mean, you've been so busy with uh work coming your way. Of course, I'm sure United Kacche has definitely taken up your time. I'm sure with the promotions of it. Um, Now obviously there are some really exciting titles. I don't know if you are doing it, but are you doing Jawan as well? How is Jawan shoot going? Are you a part of that film?
Yes, I am part of that film, and feel really excited. I'm fan of Mr. Shah Rukh Khan, and it's a great opportunity, and I'm very happy and lucky again to share the screen space with him, and also to be around on the same set. Um, so yeah, and I'll talk about Jawan and the details of this film very soon.
I remember you did a lovely mimicry of him once. There was a show on another channel which you did. It was like a theater show, kind of a show, and I remember you impersonated him. So did you actually have the courage to ever do a mimicry of Shah Rukh Khan in front of him ever?
Yes, of course he knows. He's been to comedy shows that I've done, and so he knows, of course.
Right. I think obviously after doing United Kacche on ZEE5 Global, Sunil, what do you think is the next type of role do you think that you really are wanting to get your hands sunk into?
So there's not one thing. There are many things that I want to do. Various characters which hopefully are I have not thought of, or not in my head, because if it's someone else's um outcome from their mindset, it's more I would say exciting to get into those characters.
Right.
Because you understand his mindset, and get into those characters is so much more beautiful.
Mm,
So, so if the characters I don't know, and those characters come my way, I would like to play those characters.
right. Well, look, I think it's always so wonderful to see you on screen and to see your display of acting. Honestly, Sunil, it's such a joy to watch you on screen. Really, it is. And I think it's always important to know that, even behind an actor behind every comedian, there's also a very wonderful and well-crafted actor. And I think you definitely represent that view. And I can't wait to catch United Kacche on ZEE5 Global. Thank you so much, Sunil, for joining me.
Thank you so much.
It was
Thank
so
you.
wonderful to have you on Filme Shilmy.
Lovely speaking to you.
Lovely speaking to you too. Thank you. Bye.